guys, Roki, back in that video, and today we are going to be talking mainly about Unreal, but this will be another version of Thursday's Ramblings with a WWE fan. First off, I really was watching the episode of Unreal for Naomi. I made it clear that, Unreal just does not excite me. It's not enough. It, of course, is interesting to see for somebody that doesn't really care about wrestling that much or doesn't know too much about it or just wants that inside scoop that they did not know about. It's a perfect show for you. But for me, I kind of know enough. I know enough. I know as much as I want to know about wrestling. And then with the dirt sheets and everything, there's still going to be things you learn, even if they're true or not true. You learn things about wrestling if you're on the social medias of wrestling on Twitter or Instagram. You're gonna see things about it all the time that's outside of the show. So I'm good on all that. If we're not talking about Total Divas, I don't know. Or Love and WWE, I don't know if I really want to see too much of the behind the scenes about something that just happened. Like, sure, the documentaries about certain wrestlers, cool. But I don't need to really see what just happened. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't need to see background. I'm good. But I will be real. There are certain things that I saw and I'm like, ugh. Because, yes, this is not as real as probably they want people to think. Or they don't want people to think. I'm not going to make the assumption that that's what they want them to think. But wrestling is always going to be at work. There is no doubt in my mind that the things that we see are the things they want us to see, and that some of the things that we see don't go to a storyline. There's nothing on there that's never going to go to a storyline at all. It's work. It's wrestling. Nothing is going to be fully bare to the fans. That's what I believe. But when they talked about Naomi and the walkout, they didn't really get to it because probably she doesn't want to get into it yet, which I love that. One of the things that was said was, if you don't like something in the lineup, you just work your night and then you'd be like, oh, thankful that a bridge was burned. That's what Michael Hayes said, I believe. For what it sounds like, it was a bit more than just something they didn't like on the card. Like, I'm sure they could get over. I'm sure there's a lot of things that Naomi and Mercedes have done that they did not like on the card in their life, in their span of being in the WWE. But that was more than just something they didn't like. 100% more than something that they didn't like. So, for somebody that doesn't know too much about wrestling, they're probably, or that history of the walkout, they're probably like, oh, I didn't know that girl, she must be a little bit of a diva. No, that's not what happened. That's not all that. Well, I'm not gonna say that's what happened. Like, I know, but I'm pretty sure that's not all of what happened. And another thing what was interesting to me is that I think he also had the opinion of, like, he didn't know how the heel turn was going to go with Naomi. He didn't know because Naomi's such a nice person and all this type of things, which, of course, compliment. She's a nice person, all that good stuff. But at the same time, it's like, she's played a bad guy before. Team Bad. She was on Team Bad. She did a really good job at that. But now she's so much further in her career. It's very interesting to see that there were people that were kind of hesitant about her ability to carry through with a character like that. And I'm over here like, huh? Like, with everything we've seen now in the years, y'all don't think she could be a little mean? She could be a little mean because, if anything, being a heel is probably easier. That's probably the easier route about being a superstar, is being ill. And they kind of thought, oh, we don't know. That was interesting to me. But the big thing that I think a lot of people are talking about, well, two of the things, is the LA Knight Money in the Bank incident, and then with R-Truth. First off, R-Truth, I was like, I guess when it comes down to, because Triple H was like, he wasn't fired. His contract was just going to lapse and we weren't going to do nothing about it. in layman's terms, that means you're fired. I understand that that's probably not the technical term for it, so that made him probably think he was never fired, and he was also and they also had a deal on the table for R-Truth as well. R-Truth didn't want to take that. That's why he probably was like, oh, he wasn't ever fired. But to me, I'm thinking, if you're not gonna sign that contract, I'm basically fired. You basically don't want me to work here no more. That's exactly what R-Truth said, and that's what R-Truth was like, oh, I'm not working here no more because they basically don't want me that much. And they let my contract lapse, so I'm basically fired. Can't come to the building no more, can't come to work. I'm fired. I'm let go. Those are the things that were like, okay. But maybe he has a different perspective. And that was another thing to where I was like, okay. And a lot of people were like, Road Dogg is not R-Truth's real friend. If R-Truth, who knows all the ins and outs, and again, this is what they want us to see. If R-Truth that knows all the ins and outs about their friendships and what was done and what was said, if he still considers Road Dogg a good friend, then he must be a good friend. He must be a great friend. I think the part where he was like, oh, pitching ideas for R-Truth and John Cena and things weren't connecting, and he was like, okay, I'm done. I just want to be done with. He was probably just frustrated. Just frustrated. That's it. If anything, I think what I believe is they really don't have any storyline for R-Truth to be a little bit more serious, take it seriously, even with him coming back, because I think any other type of if you're booking a show and somebody does something as drastic as cutting their hair off, that really holds and symbolizes a lot for different people, different cultures, all that stuff. And probably for them, if they cut off their hair, you're thinking, oh, okay, so this means that something different, there's going to be a rebirth. And yes, there was a point in time where we took R-Truth a bit more seriously, but that lasted for, what, a hot second for a lot of people. And it's possible that Road Dogg also was like, okay, R-Truth can still do things, but we're over here still having him lose matches and all this good stuff. So what's the point of this whole thing with John Cena? I'm ready for it to be over. Maybe that was what he was thinking. I don't know. But what I'm thinking now going forward is they need to find some way to work R-Truth in. They do. I think we're missing, and it's just my opinion, I think I'm missing, because we're seeing so many possibilities with Ron Killing's R-Truth. Like, we're seeing so many things that are possible for his character, and they are not doing anything because they probably just don't have a vision for it. But I'm like, create the vision. Create the vision. Do something, because there's so many different people where it's like, y'all create a vision for them. So what's up? That's just me. I think that it's such a touchy subject that they were like, we don't want to seem like the big bad guys, because at the end of the day, it's just a business. But because of how the fans reacted, we're never going to look at R-Truth's contract not being renewed in a good light. We're not going to ever look at it from their perspective. Even if you want to be the number cruncher, you're not going to do that, because at the end of the day, WWE wrestling, professional wrestling, is always emotion space. It's always that connection that you get from the crowd. And R-Truth is one of the few wrestlers that will always have a connection with the WWE universe. There's not many people who's going to have the same connection. So it's hard. Now, I was always confused about this, because before I watched the episode, watched some of the clips, before I watched it, I was like, okay, why are y'all making quote tweets on this clip about, oh, this is why R-Truth, not R-Truth, this is why LA Knight doesn't have push, or this is why LA Knight gets treated like he does. Oh, poor LA Knight. Goodness gracious, I looked at Seth differently. The Money in the Bank spot. Because I see things in a different perspective than I think a lot of people. The writers had the idea of having Seth Rollins and LA Knight battle it out on top of the ladder for the briefcase. But it didn't go like that. Instead, it was more of a struggle down on the ground in the ring instead of on the ladder, which built suspense. And we would have their belief, because they made the they wrote it up, is that the fans will be more on the edge of their feet, on the edge of their seat, and more involved in the finish and everything. Had that struggle happened, and I will not disagree, the fans have been more involved in seeing who win, who won't win. And it was a very awkward, looking back, it was a little awkward moment where it was like, okay, bro, what are you doing? When Seth was doing that, but finishing the match. But I will say, to me as a fan, as a spectator, I knew that LA Knight was not gonna win that. I'm sorry, but after all the shenanigans that happened, I knew he was not gonna win that. And for the many of moments that LA Knight has been in a position where he's been this close and never gotten it, for those LA Knight fans, I would rather not have. I don't know. Maybe y'all LA Knight fans could think differently, but as somebody who's been there, who's seen my favorite wrestler get this close and always fell short, I would rather not that happen. I would rather not me believe that he's gonna win something that I know he's not gonna win. I know for facts that he's not gonna win it, but you're gonna play with my emotions. I'm gonna dislike and I'm going to hate whatever you do. So I'm like, I have mixed emotions. Of course, they wanted and everything with how they talked to LA Knight, I ain't gonna front. They had a set plan and he was unable to do it. So they're gonna go over what happened. They are. It's just why are we acting as if this is not a grown man? He's in his 40s. He didn't get talked too crazy. They just said they were just disappointed that the moment didn't go how they expected it to go. Period, point blank. Would I be upset? I don't know. I'm not in that position. But I'm not going to over here go cry about it and talk about it. Like, it is what it is. LA Knight is just, he might be one of those people that don't get the title. And it's going to be sad, yes. But it might just be one of those things. When it comes to all those writers, like I told y'all last time when it came to Unreal, they need, not even last time about Unreal, but in general when it comes to WWE's writing, they need more diversity. Every time they remind me every time whenever I see clips of Unreal, because truth be told, I'm not going to watch all the season. I'm not going to watch the whole season. It's not meant for me. Whenever I see reminded of that writer's room, I'm like, we need more diversity. Why are we having the same? Like, they look, forgive me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to ever judge a book by its cover. So forgive me if I say something that is not true or right. But for the most part, the main or the head writers of WB stories, they look like older men. Older white men, which is okay to be white. It's okay. But when you have such a diverse roster where almost half of your roster are women, but you only really have men. You have one female in there. And we need to shake things up. We do. And I'm not saying, a lot of people are saying, I'm not saying the IWC itself could be better writers than the men in the writer room, but I would say this, give me a chance. I try to help y'all out with something. And what writing rooms are always about is to throw ideas to the wind and see if they stick. So when a lot of people are upset about certain pitches they make, you shouldn't really be upset, because that's just how writing rooms go. There's only one pitch where I'm going to be like, okay, y'all need to be upset with. It's the thought and the audacity that they were going to be like, hey, what if Pat McAfee went against Gunther? You know how unserious that is? Like, why are we... that would be too unserious for me. And y'all would think that the tap was detrimental to Gunther's career. Imagine if Pat McAfee would have won. Gunther FC would not be able to recover. They would literally have to have Gunther retire AJ Styles, retire Brock Lesnar, retire Roman Reigns, retire Randy Orton. and have a smash match between Cody Rhodes to ever be able to live that one down. That they literally would have to do everything in their might to have that erased from people's minds. And even then, they probably would still have a hold on it. I don't. And then they were talking about Chelsea Green, and all honesty, they have Chelsea Green's character down to a T. They're actually doing amazing with her character. I know a lot of fans are like, oh, she should be doing this, she should be in the main card. That's not her character. It's not her character. And she does a perfect job as being the one who kind of builds up things, or she rules that mid card. And it's okay to rule the mid card, because some people aren't going to be the champions. Will she be a W champion one day? World champion one day? Maybe. But right now, she's in a perfect place, and I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. But you guys let me know how you felt about Unreal this season. I just gotta say, Naomi deserved a longer episode for what she did last year. That she deserved a whole season, but that's just me. A whole episode, not a season. Well, season I could do season. But thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.